You know what? I think I'm actually just going to use that yawn as the intro. I think that would just... yeah, perfect. Why put effort in when I could just do that? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Project Create. You can see, since the last video, I actually added a roof to the building, and I actually really like this. We went with the sheet metal, and then in between these little sections, we've just got some wood palisade and some logs, and then we've just stretched the roofs up with some granite. I think I might go back and add a handful of terracotta, so we got a bit more of that going, but I do like it. The farm is working excellently. I have actually expanded it outwards, so each segment is now 4 wide. Did mean I had to extend the arm out there, but that's fine. It was only a little bit of stuff. And yeah, for the roof here, I've ended up going with this black sheet metal block because it looks really nice. Now, I did want to use the steel sheet metal because this is actually one of my other favorite blocks from Immersive, but you can see the black sheet metal is a very similar color and texture. Now, I do actually prefer the steel still because I like the little bits of texture it's got in there, but the dyed sheet metals here, we can use any type to craft them. So what I ended up doing was using the copper sheet metal and then dyeing it black, which is a damn sight cheaper than the stacks on stacks and stacks of steel I was going to need. So you may be wondering what the plan is for today, and honestly, I'm going to work on an iron farm, I think, because I desperately need iron. Again, in the world, iron is the biggest issue, and I think I'm going to just build my own design, honestly. I'm not even going to worry too much about it. I'm just going to plop down the schematic that I provided, and I'm going to make my own right here. This boiler here is barely at max capacity. You can see it's only at like 9%. We still got like 29k to use up here. This whole thing didn't really use nearly as much as I thought it was gonna. So I think the plan is I'm gonna build my iron farm kind of just off the back here, I think, in this sort of area. I'm not gonna do it quite exactly how I showed it in my tutorial. I think I'm going to actually extend the amount of cobblestone generators on it so it's a little bit faster and it makes a bit more gravel. But for the most part, the core of it is going to be the same. But of course, to make iron, we need iron and brass and precision mechanisms. And you know what? Mostly kelp too. I don't have any kelp for belts. So, unto the ocean. Hello, kelp. You shall be mine. Alright, so I think I've collected everything I'm really bothered about putting in. The mangrove roots I'm just going to do some top slabs for. I'll show that when I actually do it, but yeah, no, I think I got everything. Right as I'm about to record, rain starts, creeper blows up in my face. Brilliant. You ever do something so inexplicably stupid that you question yourself afterwards? Because that's what I've done. Let me tell you a little story. Most of this video, the last 3 hours of footage, other than that time-lapse you've just seen, has had to be thrown out for terrible audio quality. And my microphone sounded really, really bad. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit of a lesson about how some microphones work. So essentially, turns out my microphone is a cardioid microphone, which means that the main cone of sound that it will record will be directly in front of it. Now, I thought my microphone for about 5 years was bidirectional, which means it takes the equal amount of sound from both sides. So, it doesn't matter whether it's forwards or backwards, it'll do the same thing. Turns out, I cleaned my mic the other day, and I put it back into the shock mount, backwards. And it's been fine since then. I've used it for Discord calls. No one told me it sounded any different. Until I started recording, and then about 3 hours later, went to do some editing, and yeah, audio sounded terrible. And that was the day I learned that I have a cardioid mic, not bidirectional. I've learned this lesson the pretty hard way, but I still made progress. Now, I will actually walk you all through what I've done here. So obviously the major thing is we now have a massive building here. This is going to be a villager trading hall. Just behind the farm there, we actually have the world's worst villager breeder. But I will be moving it in here into this spot in the center. Oh, really? You're going to rain now? Right as I want to record? Thanks, game. And then, of course, the other thing we did... I'm going to show more of this off just in a little bit, because that is actually what I want to work on for the rest of the episode. But we also made this, the iron farm. Now, the roof to that building was made of cast iron stairs. And let me tell you, boy howdy, those are not cheap on the iron. So yeah, we ended up making the iron farm here, and I've even added a converter for blocks, so we can get iron blocks out of this thing. You can see it's working wonderfully. And I also, expanded it a little bit. We've now got triple the generators on here. We've got 12 on each side, making it a total of 24 cobble generators. And yeah, this thing is throwing out iron. I actually want to make a bigger one at some point. I think what I want to do is try and maybe make it with a double lane in the middle. So we'll have 2 lanes of belts in the middle, and then maybe like 40 or so generators coming off of it. Just really make it insane. But that's a project for another day. And you know what? Just while I'm recording, I'm actually going to turn that thing off, because it is the succubus of all frames. And, oh yeah, look at that. I can actually move my mouse smoothly now. Wonderful. But yes, the villager trading hall here is going to be the next big project in the world. I actually took this design from an old build of mine, and I've kind of converted it. I've added our little gradient to it, and changed up some of the blocks, like the roof and the pillars and stuff, to match our aesthetic, and I'm really happy with the way this turned out. There is an upstairs that we can make use of too, but I currently don't have a way up there right now. I'd be adding a staircase at some point, but I just haven't got around to it yet. But yeah, the landscaping situation around here has got a little bit messy. That right there is our crummy little ravine starter base. It was supposed to be in a ravine. It's now open air, apparently. Yeah, so we really got to get in here with some dirt and some stone and just fill this in, make it look nice. Because the schematic cannon was set to clear blocks, and I kind of forgot it was going to cut into the wall like this. So I probably should have prepped a bit more, but well. Yeah, this 20 dirt should do it, I think. Yeah, that actually wasn't too bad. I forgot that I had the building ones mod. These let you just place a ton of blocks at once. They're fantastic. And I even worked out a pathway. It's made out of the hempcrete block and concrete chunks. These are really cool, actually. They're like 3/4 slabs. I really like the way they look. Although stairs are going to look a little bit jank, but I don't mind this. It's not the worst thing in the world. I can live with that. Yeah, the villager breeder here, I've been thinking a little bit on this. And what I think I want to do is I want to replace the back door here with like a whole less conversion station. So what we're going to have is underneath here, we're going to build in an adult filter, which will filter out the babies, and they'll be held in stasis until they become adults, and then they'll pass into a second chamber where we can request them. And then up the top here, we're going to have like a thing where we can interact with them, place down a bunch of different workstations. I'll get like a block or a chest filled with like a stack of every workstation, so we can do them at our leisure. We can convert, we can trade. We'll have a button where we can lift up a zombie to cure them back down again. Important to note as well, I don't think it's going to be in here, but we do have a mod for instant conversion. So when we hit the villager with the golden apple, they'll just instantly convert back, and it'll save just a ton of time waiting around to do this. And I want to do something a little create flavored with this, but I don't really know. I'm thinking maybe we'll use weighted ejectors to move the villagers around. We'll fling them around and stuff, but I am a little concerned about fall damage, so we'll have to see on that one. And there, I'm going to have a play. I haven't made a villager adult filter in forever, so this is probably going to go horribly wrong. I might actually have to do creative testing for the first time in months. It's honestly not too dissimilar from a regular vanilla one, But you can see here, we've got some extra stuff going on. We've got a little bit of create going on here. And essentially what we've got is a barrel here to store all of the workstations. And what's interesting here is if we use one from the sophisticated storage mod, the villagers won't recognize it as a barrel and they won't become fishermen. But if we use a regular barrel, you see they do. So that way we can have this under the ground where we can grab these, we can place them down, do all our trading, and they're not going to recognize this and cause any problems. And when we're done, we can send them down. We've got a mechanical piston that... Oh. And then when we're happy and satisfied with his trades, we've locked him in, we can send him down on the mechanical piston. The zombie should see him and start hitting him. Alright, guy, you're embarrassing me now. Alright, well, I kind of had a stroke of genius using seats rather than a minecart for this thing, and it works really well. You can see they actually stain the seat when they convert. But we're having some trouble with the zombie here, like with the attention. So you can see he's stood in here right now. If I drop this guy down right in front of him, he will attack immediately and convert, and he will come back up. However, the trouble I'm having is, like, if I drop this guy down over here, it takes him forever to recognize it. And, like, sometimes, yeah, it'll just stop, like this. Even though that's a perfectly good villager to slaughter right there. It just doesn't do the thing. It's just kind of frustrating, because I feel like this should work, but I just don't really know what else to do. Like, I could have a zombie for every villager, but then I'm going to have, like, 50 zombies as well as 50 villagers. Which I don't know how bad to lag that's going to contribute, but... You can see all three of these guys are down right now, and he's just not doing anything. He's just focused in this corner, which I just don't know how to fix this. I have been staring at villager breeders for far too long. I am sick of them. I hate them. I want to never see one again. So, I'm going to leave it to you guys. I'm going to do like a bit of a community thing. I want to see what you guys think would work for a villager conversion hall. So obviously it needs to be able to convert the villagers so we can get the trades down. If you have any other ideas of ways we can improve this, then please let me know in the comments. I would be very appreciative. I'm sort of losing my mind over here, and I'm very tired and frustrated of this project already. But yeah, if you want to share your designs, then jump in my Discord and into the Create Forum tab. I will add a tag for villagers and just tag it with the villager thing, and I'll make sure to check it out. And the best designs, or all of the designs, I'll check out, see what works in them, what doesn't, and we'll see if we can come up with something that works a little better for next episode. And speaking of episodes, I've had quite a bit of trouble getting this one out, and the villager breeder just worked. Nice. Yeah, I've had quite a bit of trouble getting this episode out and ready. It's just been disaster after disaster, which is why it's taken me like 3 weeks to make this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this to you guys, see what the community, can come up with for villager trading hall ideas, hopefully with a create spin too. And we're going to leave things there, I think. So thank you all very much for watching, everybody. I appreciate your support with waiting for me to work out what went wrong with the pack and just all of the waiting for this episode. I do have a plan for a tutorial for the next video, which I'm going to be really pleased with. I already have an idea of how I want it to work, and I'm really looking forward to it. So we're going to go back to tutorials after this episode while I kind of work out this whole villager trading situation. And yeah, thank you all for watching, everybody. Really appreciate all the love and support. See you in the next one.